Oh, this is a touchy subject here, folks. Touchy subject right here. So your homie's girl is into you. What do? Like and subscribe and stay tuned. Alright, this is one that I got a good amount, you can tell I'm batch filming these videos. I've been wearing the same outfit. This is something that I got a good amount of knowledge in, alright? Good amount. Yeah. This is a big issue that handsome men face, right? Your homie's girl getting into you and liking. What do you do? What the fuck do you mean, what do? You tell your homie. One, if you've been watching this video and you're asking that question, fuck you, alright? I mean that. You tell your homie. Duh. You have morals and compass and character, you handsome bastard. That's what you do. You tell him because you would want somebody to tell you. That's why we don't cheat or let women cheat on their boyfriends with us. We got a responsibility as handsome men. You have a responsibility. You can't go tainting the rest of the world's men by your irresponsible desires. You can't go tainting the rest of the genetic pool because of your impulsivities. No, you can't do that shit. You need to control yourself. Control your penis. And you need to do it quickly. Because if you don't, it's gonna control you. So your homie's girl starts to come on to you a little bit. Maybe y'all are hanging out in public and she just is always a little bit more jovial, jiggly, ginormous when you show up. You know, one of the ways that you could tell that your homie's girl is actually trying to hit on you is she's always smiling and flirting with you, even when she's around him. And he won't be able to notice as much because you're just a friend. But you're gonna pick up on it before he picks up on it. That's just the natural way that it goes. Just like women can't pick up when a guy's hitting on them versus guys can. A lot of guys, especially, a lot of guys that get a lot of women. But when it's a friend and a friend and a friend, and you're that homie and you're hanging out, you're not gonna miss that sign because she's gonna make it painfully, blatantly obvious to you. You're gonna notice like, oh, whoa, that wasn't just wow, she's a little bit different. And when women like you, when they have a friend or a homie, one of the first signs that you're gonna know that she likes you is she's gonna start to say somewhat negative, somewhat controversial, somewhat slightly irritable things about your friend, your homie, the one that she's dating, your bro, your brother. She's gonna start to tell you things about him like, oh, he didn't do this, or oh, he said this to me the other day, or oh, we're having this issue, or this and that. And then y'all will start talking about him, saying things about him that you wouldn't say to his face, but you're saying behind his back to his girl, right? And then those secrets start to elevate or escalate a little bit, and then you start telling each other that you've been liking each other this entire time. Bunch of horny BS, right? But because you can't, for whatever reason, absolve yourself of the idea and the notion of conquering your homie's girl, breaking his heart, completely ruining and shattering his universe, and then instilling, instead of trust, mistrust of women and men, right? Instead of you seeing that, you decide to just go through with the situation and be a home wrecker and a home breaker. Men are just as much to blame for wrecking homes as women are, because a home couldn't get wrecked without the man being involved in the wreck as well, all right? And a lot of the times, a lot of you guys, a lot of men already know that women have boyfriends, especially if they are good with women. They know when a woman is already involved with the guy, because if she's not texting you that much, she's not reaching out to you that much, she's not doing that, she's not doing that, then you know that most likely, in 2023, she probably has guys or male attention already as it is. So she's got men in her life. But when you're the friend of the man that's inside of her life, then you bear a much higher responsibility. I don't know why you guys don't have morals, why y'all don't have standards. I don't know why you don't have ethics, but there's no world where my homie would have left me with his girl, his children, his family, and I would ever consider or even think about considering trying anything malignant, anything sensual, or anything evil around him and his. It's not even a thought to register inside of my mind. I don't look at my homie's girls. I don't look at their butts. I don't look at their breasts. If a sexual thought even tries to get into my mind about my homie's girls, I immediately cancel it out and try and override it with anything, to be completely honest with you. But I repeatedly tell myself, like, man, what's wrong with you? This is your homie. This is your friend. This is somebody that you trust, and they let you in their house, you know? And so people can see that on me. And as a result of that, like, bro, I usually typically never have had problems with anything. Like, man, I remember so many situations, bro, where I would be needing a place to stay when I was going through my homelessness, and like, I had a few homies that let me sleep on their couch and let me stay with them, and like, bro, I had so many situations where like dudes, babies and kids were running all around diapers, their girls in the room probably changing like 20 feet away from me, and he just went down to the gas station real quick. Well, bro, hey, you're not going to the gas station without me, homie. Hold on, let me get my stuff home, because I'm not about to be left with your girl at the crib with your kids. Like, that's how much they trust me. You get what I mean? But of course they should. You should be able to trust other guys like that too. You think think you can trust other guys with your girl? Let her be a 6, 7, or 8. You think you can trust other guys with your girl? Even if your girl doesn't cheat, the guys are gonna be the one that's still trying to ask her engage in something because niggas ain't getting no play. Dudes aren't getting any play. So the guy's far more likely to be the one that you have to watch out for versus the girl. The girl already has an abundance in her box right now. She already has an abundance of people that she's messing with, and she can choose tactfully who she decides to mess with. She's not gonna just go out there and try and be with the first dude. That's why it's like, bro, for you to actually be like the friend of your friend and then you mess with the girl, out of all the guys that she had in her inbox, you decided that you wanted to. Now, I understand familiarity, and sometimes being in that friend circle is a really easy and convenient thing to link up and hook up with somebody. But I mean, there's plenty of fish in the sea. If you're willing to break and destroy a friendship, I don't know how long you've been friends, how long you've been thinking about, this situation or how important this buddy is to you. But if you've been like buddies for a long time and you go back to high school, you go back to middle school, and now you gotten to this point to where he's like really trusting and y'all don't understand. You know what it's like as a man when you really like a woman. When you really like a woman, bruh, hey, let somebody play with your woman. When you really are in love with a woman, that's dangerous levels of passion. Especially younger men, dangerous levels of passion. Especially when there's not as many women going around, dangerous levels of passion. And then his friend or his best friend sticks it inside of his girl that he's been so fighting vigorously to try and get a hold of for years and years and years on end. He finally gets the girl and she cheats on him. That's to be expected possibly. But now with the best fucking friend, dude. Have some morals, guys. Y'all gotta have some morals. You're talking about women's codes, women's character, women's accountability, women's this. I talk to a lot. I've met a lot of dogs, man. A lot of you dudes are dogs. Nasty dogs at that. That's a nice ass forerunner. A lot of you dudes are dogs. Y'all lay with anything. Like anything. Like, bruh. We'll talk more about this, but the dating, like, bro, some of the women that y'all lay with, and even as good looking dudes, it's like, bro, what's wrong with y'all? I couldn't even get aroused by somebody that looked like that. And y'all are laying with them, unprotected, like no qualm. Maybe I don't have a high sex drive. Maybe I'm like low testosterone or something. I don't understand how some of y'all people be getting, some of y'all dudes, especially guys who can get with such low quality women, bruh. It's boggling my mind and it's mind boggling to me when I look at those relationships. But then I realize, oh, it's just purely physical. Well, yeah, it's purely physical for you, but sex isn't purely physical for women. Sometimes it is, a lot of the time it's not. Even then, it does different biological responses and it has different biological responses inside of our brain, right? It's not just as simple as people are making it out to see. Bruh, if your homie's girl is hitting on you, then number one, you need to tell him, okay? You need to tell him, hey, your girl's hitting on me. Your girl's coming on to me. Hey, bro. How do you tell him something like that? Lay it on him easy, lay it on him sweet, because he's going to be very emotional. He's going to be very angry with you. He's going to be very judgmental. He's going to be very embarrassed. So you don't want to further embarrass him. You want to come to him as a friend. You want to come to him as a brother and say, hey, brother, hey, it's got something important to talk to you about, man. Listen, I love you, bro, and I care about you, man. And you got to get away from this girl, bro. You gotta get away from this broad. Bro, I heard she's hitting up other guys. She even tried hitting up me, man, behind my back. Bring out the other guys first. Don't just say you, but say, hey, if she's hitting up other guys, she even tried hitting me up behind my back. And make sure you do it quick because he's gonna want to see those messages. And if you show him messages and it's from like 3 weeks ago or something like that, next thing you know, you're a suspect and you're probably gonna lose a friend. Like, don't think about thinking about things. Don't think about being a good person. Be a good person, okay? So lay it on him easy. Pause. Hey, man, she's been talking to other guys. She even tried hitting me up. Look at this. Most guys aren't going to be upset at that at all. They're going to be relieved to know that they can trust their friend. They're going to be relieved to know that they have a real friend. It's like, oh my God, this dude did, wow. Like that's going to help with the pain of the heartbreak. That's going to help with the pain of the mistrust, right? Because when you lose those things in a woman, you need friends to kind of pick you back up. You need your homies to have you back because you're going to be going through this, man. So that's number one. You tell him and you tell him softly, you tell him gently, right? Number two, you have to support him. Right? What does that mean when you support him? He's going to be going through it mentally. He's not going to understand. He's going to have questions for you. He might not trust you. He's definitely not going to trust her anymore. He's going to have a million questions. So you're going to need to support him. And you're going to need to be very patient with him because this is a very detrimental time in his life. What it is him realizing that he is, one, not the top dog in his group, right? B, he's not the top looks as far as looks go in this group, and all of us want to be the top dominant guy. We all want to be naturally the alpha, right? But he's going to realize what his position is, whether it's a beta, sigma, zeta, I don't know, theta. But he's going to realize what his position is, and that's a humbling experience. This entire thing is going to be a very humbling experience. It's going to be a very embarrassing experience. So you got to treat this with kitty gloves, and you got to treat this like it's your best friend, like it's your family member, because it is, right? And we love our family members and we care about our people, so we treat them well. So we have to treat this very, very, very tactfully because he's going to be embarrassed. Support, emotional support, helping him kind of get through the breakup. And then, hey man, hey, fuck these, hey man, let's go get some new girls. Hey, let's go out, man. Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. Hey, let's do this. Let him know that you're still his friend and that irrespective of all this madness, like, homie, I got your back. I'm glad that we figured that out. Like, hey, get away from that girl type of deal. Don't go messing with that girl. Don't mess with that girl. That's number 3. You do not mess with the girl. It doesn't matter if they break up. It doesn't matter if they stay together. It doesn't matter if they take a break. None of that matters. She's dead to you at that point, especially if that's your homie. Now, if your homie decides to start flexing with you and he has an issue and the friendship just can't go on anymore because he feels like he doesn't trust you, then I don't know. I guess I'm probably like 50-50 on that notion. I'm 50-50 on that front. Me personally, I wouldn't mess with her still, because if I respected and I had a homie and I knew that we were all cool before this girl started to, be and act mischievous, then I would feel bad. But if you don't feel bad about that and your homie's pretty much not your homie anymore because he's really messed up about the entire situation, then it's 50-50 for me. You can mess with it if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. You're not, in my opinion, contributing to the problem at that point anymore because it's just it's over and done. So those are 3 things that you can honestly do. Those are 3 things that you honestly need to do when you find out that your homie's girl is into you. And again, a lot of these signs are going to be easier to see for you than it is for your homie. And like, you might even be uncomfortable in a lot of these situations. I remember being uncomfortable in a lot of situations, and I would pull away when we were all hanging out because I wouldn't want him to be like, dude, what's going on in the middle of the moment or something like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want that. But now, like, thinking about it in hindsight, I'm just like, dude, how did he not? Maybe he did. Maybe he knew the entire time, but he was just kind of lying. He was just kind of lying to himself, maybe, But yeah, a lot of those times you're gonna see, and you're gonna feel it's gonna be awkward. That's the bad part. Like, a lot of the times it can be awkward. You might be scared to tell your homie because you don't know, and you don't want to mess up the friendship, or maybe you don't know, you don't know she's really coming on to you, and you've been sending messages. If you've been sending messages to her and y'all messaging back and forth, and he doesn't know, bro, come on. If you're sending messages to this girl, that's pretty much cheating. That's emotional cheating right there. If you have any form of contact with her and he doesn't know, that's cheating. And if it's really your homie, it's going to be in your best interest to tell him. But yeah, it's harder to see a lot of the time for the homie. I think a second way that a lot of people can kind of like hint at it is the friends, right? The friends talking to you about them. The friends talking to you about them is a huge indicator that she might be into you, or the friend might be into you as well too. All right, so let's look at this. What are some ways to tell that your homie's girl likes you? Number 1, she's always touching you when y'all are hanging out. If you're hanging out and she's like always like either pushing you or she gives you a hug and says, hey, good to see you again, when you go visit them or when you go over to their house or when you're at their apartment, if she, walks up and always gives you a big hug, hugs you, or when y'all all talking, she comes over to you and, engages in conversation, but always manages to include physicality with that conversation, then she's probably into you, right? Any type of physical interaction, especially when she's in the presence of her own man, if there's ever physical interaction when she's in the presence of her own man, that's huge, bro. That's huge. That's magnificently big, because no guy is going to let his woman be physically anything with another man, even if it's a guy, even if it's his homie. Maybe if it's his homie, but that's the one area where it can slide. And it's up to you as the homie to understand when that hug felt a little different, when that was like, that was a little different, right? You have to be receptive of that. Number 2, the way that you can tell is, again, when she has messages with you about him. When you all start to communicate and talk, and share things openly about their relationship together between the 2 of you. That's the second way that you know that she's starting to feel you and that she wants you either physically, emotionally, or spiritually. The number 3 and the third reason is her friends start to indicate that there's something going on in the relationship with her and her significant other. If her friends indicate to you that there's something going on in her relationship with your friend and her, your homie and her, that's an indication that she probably is looking to monkey branch or swing over your way. And it's up to you as a man to have the tactfulness, the discernment, and the discipline to deny. The fifth way that you can tell if your homie's girl is into you is social media posts. Obviously, if she's liking your pictures and, liking your videos, things of that nature, then more than likely she's into you. Women rarely, and I'm just going to be honest here, women rarely like or engage in posting things like that with guys that they aren't interested in physically. So if she's liking your pictures and your videos and your lifestyle habitual posts, then she's probably into you. But again, a lot of these signs, if you're a handsome man, you already know these signs, so this is a bit redundant, this part of the video. But this is for guys that are just completely oblivious and might not know the signs to look for. So either way, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I said a lot. With great power comes great responsibility. Please treat yourself with discipline, discernment, and dominance. I'll see you in the near future.